Hello everyone, today I am looking at Hollow Knight by Team Cherry. This indie game kind of really came out of nowhere, but it was exceptionally well done. The closest thing that a lot of people can compare it to is 2D Dark Souls. You know, there's a lot of games that try to replicate the Dark Souls formula, but in a more action-packed and manageable 2D environment. But I think this is the only one that really pulls it off. You know, it's Dark Souls in the sense that it's very difficult essentially to where it's very much about the timing and not exactly parrying, but knowing when to hit the enemy. Everything in this game is based around the theme of bugs, and so Hollow Knight, you know, and his shell, everything is based around the carapace and arthropods and whatever. And so very similar to, again, the theme of Dark Souls, essentially the bugs have been possessed, and they are kind of like these mindless drones, and you find this city underground where essentially civilization used to thrive and flourish, but over time what happened was the power or the energy essentially ran out over time, and now the entire thing is a dystopian wasteland, more or less. And so again, it's because the hit reaction and the timing of everything is so very precise that it gets very addictive and challenging. When I played this game, I was expecting to maybe just try it out, maybe like as a demo, but I went full into it. This is the game that fully sucked me into its gameplay, because it was super addictive and just felt really good. So as Hollow Knight, you can basically slash with your sword, usually in the air in any direction. When you hit an enemy, you are usually knocked back a little bit, so you have to be careful, to keep your distance. Also, when you get hit, you have a certain number of obviously hit points or hearts or whatever. The weird thing is that the only way to recover these is by using part of your soul power, which is indicated by the giant emblem on the top left. However, that's also an equipable thing, so you don't actually have the ability to always revive health. That's actually optional if you want to have it or not. You also have other powers that allow you to, dash through the air, have certain attacks, and eventually by the end of the game, you're going to get something called like a void power, which allows you to do, certain other magical attacks that shoot projectiles forward and other things like that. And that again takes a bit of your soul energy. There are multiple locations in this world. There is a giant mine, the giant city underground, a tournament area, the Mantis kind of bandit hideout. And so each area is kind of, given a distinct theme and a distinct kind of weapon and a distinct way of, navigating through it and negotiating, the boss and the architecture of the place. Throughout the game, you also meet characters that are able to do things like sell you maps, sell you upgrades, teach you new techniques. And the whole thing is told in this very, made-up language kind of thing. And very similar to Metroid, there's a lot of things to discover in the environment. So there's a huge focus on both combat and exploration. And that's what makes this game, I think, very fun and really well respected, because the combat is really well done, and so is the exploration. There's a lot of hidden passages and hidden things, and with the map, you're able to find exactly what you're supposed to be doing. The bosses are also generally very well made. This is again a game that people were really surprised by, just how well made it was. And of course, there's different upgrades that you basically equip at the bench, which is your save and rest point, that also refill your health. And they essentially are these areas in which you are able to equip your emblems, and that will give you, again, boosted things like more soul when you hit enemies, a bigger reach for your nail, which is your sword, basically. Hardened hearts, and all the kind of weird, quantifiers or modifiers, rather, that you'd want to equip are done so at the bench. And so this game is very difficult, but it can also be very fun and very challenging to beat. And the other thing, too, is that the sequel or the DLC or whatever has been planned for many years and has not come out yet, which is the Silksong DLC, revolving around Hornet, pretty much the only other character that really matters in the story. And they have gameplay trailers and whatever, but it's been a long time coming, and it still isn't out after like what feels like maybe a few years. There was another DLC that did release, or 2 DLCs that did release for this game, which were the Phantom Troop, where you fight this optional boss who, just looks really cool and has a very difficult, distinct moveset. But yeah, a lot of this game is about dodging, aerial combat. It also has multiple endings. And yeah, it's I think the challenging thing is really descending and hitting things below you. Well, the one part that did filter me, honestly, was this one section where you had these mushrooms, and I thought you had to jump on the mushrooms to propel yourself over this, ledge or something. But what you actually were supposed to do is hit the mushroom with a downward stroke so it propels you upward. Some stupid thing I was stuck on for like way too long. But yeah, this is a really great game. I played it on the Nintendo Switch simply because it has that cute kind of indie feel. And yeah, this is just a really well-made game. I really, really enjoy it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you later, guys.